Welcome back, everyone, to part 7 of the War of the Worlds War Machine. Today we're going to actually start painting up the base. We got a globe style base where it has, the earth and stuff like that, so we can get that nice and painted up and get doing the oceans and the continents and getting them all cooking all good. There's also the little plaque in the front that we can start painting on, so let's get started. So hello everyone, welcome back. I just wanted to show you what I did on this stand. I got the wires run through this post here, since we're not going to run a tube and this is going to fit on there. I just drilled a hole through here, which then it came out through these spots on both sides for positive and negative, and then a hole up there and stuck it through and just tacked it with super glue and ran a thin layer of thin super glue down and got it tacked really close to this rib, because it's kind of like a flat piece with a round thicker ribs here and here, so I can tuck it in there, and then when I paint it, hopefully it'll be pretty hidden, especially when it's on a stand. And I'm going to do it in a gunmetal, which is going to be real black, so it should hide it pretty good. I did a little bit of sanding to clean up some of the super glue that moved. I had to notch a little bit of this post so when these go in, because I drilled through here while it was in the stand, so it made the adjacent holes that I needed, but these wires were too thick with this post when you first try to get it in, and I tried it and that worked. So, and when it comes to putting it together, we'll trim these, solder them to the wires coming out of the bottom of the ship, and then this will be down in here for the base, and I think I'm just going to run a regular wire through that. So yeah, I like it. That's going to work good. So now I just got to finish up the actual painting of this. I got the shallow water blue going, and then I'm going to do the darker blue for the deeper ocean water, and then we'll get working on the land masses, and then this plate here. Yeah, I'll give you a quick look at that.
And actually, the car still exists. It's in a museum, I think, out in California. And it still looks fantastic.
Ship.
So it's just like brand new.
I put a clear coat on it.
I think the movie came out around 1953.
I got the burst,
somewhere around in there, so it's been around a long time.
Of the worn penny, and this is the rose gold.
You can look it up on the internet and find some nice high definition.
It's hard to really see, but you can see a little bit of the worn penny burst going on there. Still a little tacky, so I don't want to. There's the bottom.
Took off the hood ornament, did the same thing on the deck lid here.
You can really see it on the bottom, especially down there by the bottom half of the ship.
And they kind of hopped up the engine a little bit using the Offenhauser cylinder.
Yeah, so that should look pretty cool.
Carburetors on the old.
So let me put this back. I want it to cure really good.
So the cool thing was that this kit came with all of those parts. It came with the dual exhaust, came with the Stromberg carbs, the Offenhauser heads and all that. So I was able to use everything pretty much right out of the box and get a pretty close.
Here's the eye turret.
James Dean car. I lowered the
that looks really good.
A little bit in the back like they did in the film. Now the 49 Mercury, a lot of you hot rodder guys out there will know that this car is kind of the icon. Back in the late 50s.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it.
These cars were known as lead sleds in the 49 Mercury.
But I figured I'd do a quick little update.
And
we're going to be getting close to putting it together. This has just got to cure, and we can start putting the lenses in. And on the main body, we got to still install the LED strip. And yeah, put that clear green plastic through. Welcome back, everyone. Just giving you an update on the War Machine. The painting came out amazing. It looks really good. We got the copper kind of a burst going on the edges on both sides. Oops. Well, let me disconnect this so I can. The rose gold looks really good, but then you got those more copper edges that you can kind of see. Yeah, so that gives it a little bit of a worn look, I think. And some definition in a body that's, you know, fairly aerofoiled, you know, so very streamlined and, you know, doesn't have a lot going on as far as detail, so that gives you something that your eye catches on to. But what I was doing, actually lately what I've been doing, is working on the base while I was letting the clear coats dry. It's coming along good. Doing all this mostly by hand. I mean, I did the light blue around the edges of the continents to give it that shallow water look feel, especially like in the Gulf and down here. And then I went back and airbrushed the darker blue, put a little bit there to show some depth, you know, and then did the darker blue in the deeper oceans. And then I went and did, what did I use here? A Riviera tan, and did all the painted all the continents in that Riviera tan. And then I went back with the, I think it's a grass. Yeah, I think it was a grass green. I went through and started hitting some areas and then leaving the tan in the real heavy mountain areas. So that's coming along good, but I had to take a break. So I decided to put these guys in, and they fit right in, so I'm really happy with that. And I just used the quick cement, but also what I did before is I took the bulbs and I hit them with the transparent green, so they weren't just a bright white. Although I probably could have got away with leaving them a bright, just a white, because the color of this is working pretty good. But I did hit it with the transparent green. What is this? Vallejo? Yeah. And then took some of this fill to diffuse it and got the right amount. Bounce all over everything. Got the right amount, balled it up in the little clear, transparent, clear green plastic pieces, and stuck them on, and it worked perfect. And gives me the diffusion so you don't see the hot spot from the light bulb, and actually makes the whole piece glow a little better than just you know, a hot spot center and the rest of it doesn't look as good. But I'll just backfeed through the front end lights. I don't have these ready yet. The main power will just backfeed through here. Maybe a piece of grab better. There they go. And they look good. No more hot spots. And then I use the extra thin Tamiya cement and just dripped it down the edges, and it's holding them. But they were holding themselves in pretty good, so I probably could have gone away with not even using any glue, but just in case. Yeah, and let's show them with them off. Flickering bulbs are working really nice. Yeah, so I like it a lot. It's going to be neat when it's finally up on its stand. So, but I figured I'd just give you a quick update, show you where I'm at. I'm going to keep trucking away on this this base. I'm going to do some darker greens and then get some of the browns in, different shades of brown. So we'll go in some darker greens. I think I'm going to use this.
at it or whatever you want to do, take it up and dust it, or show it or look
Yeah.
at it and look at this.
It's coming along. Here we are with the globe. The base here. It's looking really good. I put a clear coat on it, and I love how the colors like blend in together and they're not so harsh edged. Like all the greens, I've tried to make it lighter here, and it worked really good. It didn't look as good until I put the clear on and it blended it down in, and it makes things fall into the low spots in the mold. So it looks really good. I like that I did the lighter blue for the shallower water. So I'm pretty happy with all that. Get this light up a little higher, because I was just using it. Yeah, so now I think next on this I want to hit this badge. It's at a good spot, and then I'll go and I want to do some snow effect on Greenland here and on some of these islands, and maybe those. Just a little bit. I don't want to go crazy with it. Just an interpretation. Because really, you probably have like a snow ring, you know, in a sense. But I just want to hit Greenland there, and then some of these islands out in here. But leave some of the rest with the color and mountains in green. I could maybe hit a couple peaks up on the mountains in the Rockies. But yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. And then once we do that, and I want to get this badge done, now I can tape this off, and I'm going to spray it. Excuse me. Just getting up, so my throat's finally clearing. That way I can just spray this whole thing with the clear. And then I want to do the clouds in a satin, you know, but this or a flat. For this I'm going to do like a satin, so it has a little bit of shine, you know, like a globe does, like the earth does, reflecting off the water. But the clouds are a little more, flatter, so I want to do those last. So, but I want to get this done first. Now that I have a clear coat, I can tape this off and go from there. On the actual stand that holds the ship, I did this in a gunmetal. It's hiding the wire fine. Good enough for me. I probably could have took the time and puttied it in, but that works for me. And then what I'm doing here is I'm going to do this in the copper. That way, at least when it's up underneath the ship, it looks more like the ship instead of that being gun steel as well. So, I don't know if I just go and touch it up with some rose gold to lighten it a little bit, maybe. But yeah, I figured at least doing it in the copper. And the copper covers better. So we did that way to help that blend in. I got the eyepiece in on the eye turret. That looks good. That's glued in there. I haven't tested it again to see what it looks like, but I'm really happy with that. And on the main ship, I got the tips glued in. This is just put on, just so the look. It's not even glued on. I still got to get the light inside there, and then figure out how we're going to light block it, which I think I'll just do the fiber fill like I did on the tips and these. You can see it when it's off, but that's okay. It's still green, and it kind of gives it a little more like something's going on inside them. So I actually kind of like that. But that's going to be the same way out here on this one too. So I'm going to have to pack that nice so it looks nice. But these came out looking nice, so. And I tried them last night, and I liked how they looked, so. Yep. Really coming together. I really love the copper outer edge. Gives it some type of, you know, more dimension. You can see more of the curves.
Fixing the base, then it'll be a matter of cutting this off to the right height. So let's get it together.
Especially in this area with the different curves that happen here. Edges. Yeah, so it's a really cool design ship for back in the day. So, but I think we'll keep trucking on this base and getting this all taped up. We use some of the Tamiya tape. It's a little less tacky. And it cuts better because I think I'm actually going to fold it up and try to get all these little notches to still have water in them. That water effect. So, but this is a straight edge, so we can pretty much do a straight line here. I'm still going to, just for giggles, tap it on my sweatpants first. Because I don't want it to pull up any paint. Let's try this edge. This might be an easier edge to do first, but we got to come in at least to where that notch goes in and see if I can cut that out. That's going to be the fun part. You get it to bend down in there, but this Tamiya tape is a little more forgiving to get into things. Probably what I'm going to have to do is cut a little notch here. Just to give it a little relief. Yeah, see how it hooked the bend in there? I don't know if we're going to get those. Yeah, I don't think so. That's still too complex. I might have to trim while we're doing it. Although there is one way to do this. I didn't think about that. We can use the other side of this tape. We can use this for the straight edge, right there. And then where that dips in those spots, we will use a toothpaste. It's a trick I haven't used since like the Falcon or the Enterprise refit. Go over the little clear parts. You can use, and I keep a small tube of it, toothpaste, because it'll wash away. It kind of works like the salt effect, like if you're going to do chipping. It'll work just like a latex mask. Actually, I wonder if it would be easier to use this thing. Probably. Because it's got a consistency of like a putty. Okay. I'll get in here real good because I don't want to get any on the wall. Just want it. Let's go with this. But yeah, let me touch a couple things and then get the rest in with primer. Good morning, welcome back to this Wednesday. Yeah, it works just like a liquid mask if you don't have a liquid mask. And I am doing what I like to do the best, and that is making paint masks. And what I'm doing is I'm masking off so that I can paint the elbow joints, or the joints that go up to the, I guess those would be shoulder joints. And
And it's a simple matter of cutting some circles with some circles in the middle so
There we
that
go.
you can mask that circular area. The other thing I'm
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of this before.
making the black visor, just cutting a scrap of vinyl. I cut this piece of real thin sheet styrene.
I've been meaning to get the liquid mask, but I
This
don't,
area
you know.
here is way uneven, and it's molded that way. I mean, you are supposed to cover this.
I keep just using this trick,
I've cut a piece of sheet styrene that is the same size. I'm gonna
so I
cut
haven't
it
really worried about it.
black vinyl, and then I'm going to put this clear. Clear over in front of it, which will give me
This
the
trick
black
works really good. Like I said, I did it on like,
So,
I had to build the little fins on the nacelles on the refit, and those little yellow marker lights on the fins.
I'm surprised there isn't
I just dabbed it with that and then sprayed over
going to be a problem with how am I going to glue in the front.
when I actually attached those fins to the nacelle, and then touch up the paint, and then yeah, I just took a little water and a cotton ball, and it eventually
This black vinyl,
come apart, and that was quite a pearl white paint. So it, you know how pearl paints and metallic paints almost have a elasticity, they're kind of elastic sometimes, and it still came off really good. So, and then we'll do a small piece here to try to get tight, and then another piece here for that straight edge, and then we'll hit those chunks as well. And I think that, yeah, this made that way simpler than having to cut with a razor blade and worry about scoring, the actual base. So we'll just cut. Get a little better light on the subject here. Just do something like that. And that gets most of that chunk in the plaque. What I love about the Tamiya tape, it really forms the shapes, so you can rub it because there's those islands there. And then we just got to mask that little piece there with some good old fashioned. And you just want the white, like Colgate, just the white pasty stuff. And like I said, it's water soluble, so once you hit it with a wet cotton, it pops right off.
In the sign making world, what they do is that they will spritz the plastic with a soapy water solution. And that soapy
And it's got the
water
perfect
solution
consistency, so you can just kind of squish it into the
and then you squeegee that out from underneath.
area you want it,
What helps, soapy water helps you
without
squeegee
having to
out
brush right up
stuff
to it.
underneath there. But,
And I need a little bit here for there.
because the glass here is very clean, and I'm going to peel off. It's a shame it's not happening on camera. There we go. Okay, and we're going to pop it down like that. And I can see that I've got nothing trapped. Nothing trapped between the plastic and the vinyl. But I can see it. I'm looking at it in the light.
And you just let it dry. It'll kind of level out
That is how it's happened now. I'm going to
because it might be a little thick,
undo it.
but it'll kind of level out. I should have put the other piece of tape down first. I didn't leave myself much of a taping spot without taping over top of the toothpaste, right where that edge comes in. It's going to be a fun spot.
Black piece of vinyl, and then, like I said, this will go over top of it, which gives me the gloss. Alrighty, I've got the inner piece. I found inner piece. No, I've got the inner piece here. That is
There we go.
a piece of sheet styrene.
I think we got it.
Black vinyl over
Enough that
it
it will
with
stay.
a double track underneath here. And we will make a little sandwich out of that, and we will put the glossy plastic, fake plastic over
You know, I ain't going to worry about that down
so
there.
that when we sink the whole thing,
It's alright. That's it.
we get the
Yeah, the old toothpaste trick. Got all about it. Now, hopefully it works. Hasn't failed me yet, so. And then I'll just let that dry. A little better. But while it's drying.
I'm thinking it just struck me. What's my solution to everything in life? Googly eyes.
I
See if
can.
I've got any googly eyes that would fit in that area. Pull out the old.
Run some bigger tape around it.
See if I've got anything.
This stuff I'm definitely going to want to tack off my clothes.
Now that's exactly the right size if you turn it upside down. That gives me a nice flat, a nice flat finish there. But they're supposed to be recessed. So what happens if I take one size smaller and
Put another piece here.
of course the eyeball will be covered over. It would be silly to have big old.
At least most of these side pieces here can be touch and tape.
But if I put something like that, then it looks like recessed. I like that idea. I really do.
Yep.
Let's about that. Yeah.
Got a tipsy eye here.
So what I would need to do is prime these and then spray them a color and then just glue them inside there. I think that would give it a nice finish. Let's do that. I think that's independent of everything else that's happened here. So, let me get out the hand paint and touch up around this edge. Alrighty, I've just been spraying on some accent color, and that is the...
Here we go, and then we can spray this with, I think I'm going to do that zinc that I did, that I used for the NX1 and the Cylon Raider Revisit. And, I have those paints out.
There always is.
That's the darker.
Definitely overspray. You really need some looking after.
Yeah, I think we'll do it in this. Anita's galvanized tin. That'll give it that nice metally silver, but not overly silver. And I think this is already leftover thin stuff, which probably already sprayable, if there's enough in there. Yeah, I think that'll be enough. It might be overly thin, but I have another bottle of this. If not, anyway, I got two, not knowing how much I would need, and I knew it was a color I'd use when I got stuff for the NX1. So, yeah, I'll be back. I'll paint this, and we'll see what it looks like. Well, there we go. There, it looks good. Nice and airbrushed with that galvanized tin. I like that look. It has a darky kind of silver look to it. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do the letters on there. It says the world of worlds. It'd be neat to do it in the copper and the copper and the rose gold. Like do the and of the and the copper and then the rose gold. War Worlds and the rose gold. Maybe I'll try it. I'll see how I can thin it out and actually do it. And it might lay over top of this galvanized tin like really cool. So that might be what we do. I'm not sure. If not, I think I'm just going to do it in yellow. But let's take this tape off and see how carefully, especially the blue.
So I've done my best to minimize those so that they're not quite as
and see how this looks.
they were before. But where I will go back
See how much cleanup we need to do where the toothpaste went. Usually none, but
the arms have a brighter bit of that crimson, so I will put that back in. But I need to let that take a break and dry and
so far so good. I'm very phlegmy this morning. Alright, I guess we can start with this one.
taking the tape off of the
Get this off this.
here. And all that
I don't know if that helped or not.
exciting of a thing.
Tweezers help.
See how it turns out. I think that blue tape might be the second look.
There's that so far. And then we'll take a, like I said, we got to take a Q-tip to do the toothpaste. Although it pulled that one almost all the way off. Oh, that looks really cool. And this is going to be the tricky one. I was smart enough not to put it all the way down there. There you go. Yeah. Oh, I like that a lot.
Now this is like the outlet for the Zagon Bomber base, and it's, you can tell me, I like it.
That looks really good. So I'll get one of these little pointy ones, which I'm really liking because I've been using them quite a lot. They hold up a lot longer. And I'll just dip it in a little water. They don't soak it up too bad. They don't get like the other cotton balls where they're like just a mess. But the water will make them expand and fall apart quicker. And also got to be careful because this is a water-based paint, so it's still going to want to be soft in other areas too. So I just want to remove where. Just go in there. Oh yeah, I cleaned that out really nice. I can take a regular cotton ball. That's fluffy.
I mean, there's a nice little
Try to go in there and clean that all out.
I think it's a neat idea.
This is going to be the big one.
I think we're going to have to wait to catch the, it's an hot glue. Yeah, if they use the hot glue, then I can lock that up. So let me turn the hot glue.
The nice thing about the toothpaste is if you dip the Q-tip back in there, it gets rid of the residue that's on there. Just squish it out.
It'll be the last day on the mutants and Martians bill, and I'm being away like start today because I was at convention. I was at a GalaxyCon convention downtown.
Take this one and
even though it was indoors and air conditioned, it was still nice and stuffy in there. So I
clean it all out. It worked amazing.
That's about all I could take.
It always does.
So I got in, got my
It got up a little bit up on there
finally was able to meet some people.
because of the thickness of it. I could probably go in there with a brush and just hit it, but you really can't tell because it just looks like water around it since it's reflective as well, the paint.
We'll be done, and I'll go ahead.
Almost should did a shadow, a light water, did the light blue around it like it's sitting in the, crashed into the, globe. That would have been cool with a little white water halo just like the continents. But no, now it looks like it's actually placed in on a painting, It's the way to all that comes together there and there. Now let's clean this edge up. This is going to be a cool edge to clean up. Yep, that looks really good. Just a little piece there. Like I said, this nice thing about the toothpaste is it's water soluble, so you can clean your Q-tip out so you don't keep having residue. And I'm going to brush towards the thicker part of it and try to just peel most of it up first and then get rid of it. Like I'm not smearing it around.
The Classics Illustrated version of the Martian War Machine. I gotta tell you, it was nice change of pace to have projects that involve no decals or electronics of any kind. And that's going to bring us to the end of this week's work. Like I said, nice little change of pace. After spending so long on a single project, it's nice to knock out a couple of
I just heard Lou talking about how it's nice to work on a project that's not have electronics and stuff. And it's true. It's so true. Oh, that really cleans it up really nice. I just want to get rid of the rest of the toothpaste residue, which isn't hard. Wow, and that came out really good. Down here I spray, but I'm seeing if I can rub the galvanized tin off the water, and it is. Just with a wet Q-tip. It's taking a little pressure, but since the ocean is sealed with a clear. The tape pretty much covered most of it, but yeah, it's taking it right off. And with these pointy Q-tips, you can do this. Yeah, that looks good too. So there we go. I'm liking that. With the notches in there. In there, it looks really good. So there we go. So there's a trick. I forgot. I haven't used it in a little bit, but that's a good one if you don't have liquid mask, or it works for chipping as well. You can just take some of that toothbrush, take a toothpaste and take a brush and just dab it in areas erratically, like with a coarse brush. Like something like this. Get a little bit on a plate and just and then spray over it, let it cure really well, and then just rub it off. It works just like the salt technique, or to cover a clear part. It works great, and it's inexpensive. So, but yeah, there we go. Toothpaste came to the rescue on solving, doing painful masking. Sometimes I gotta remember, you gotta work smarter, not harder. I'm really happy with how that looks. And I'll look good with the gun steel stand there. It has a different color. Very close, but that's a little lighter. And we can start touching that up too now. That with another coat of copper. We're going to want a thinner, more watered down. Little drop.
Also, I put some felt on the bottom, covered up the wiring on the bottom underside. Something you don't need to worry about looking at, but maybe you see them.
A bit of water. Actually, I'm wondering.
Basically, 2 or 3 colors that I'm doing.
Wondering if I should use one of these wide bristle ones.
The greenish blue that is really all the stuff that needs to be flushed up. I almost wish I had my little Lazy Susan out here, the printer.
There's a little chunk in there. Make sure we don't pick that up. See if we can get a smoother brush with the flatter and more thinned out. Because I laid it on with just normal thick.
And of course, the nice thing is a lot of this will end up being, kind of tough to see anyway, but if it fixed, then that's what we fix it. I still have not 100% decided how to bend this back rail yet. I do need to do that. Oh, some of the other detail I'm thinking is there's there's a green, that greenish black needs to go behind these rosettes here, here, and here. So I'm kind of painting in that kind of detail too. So that's something that I might have spotted. I have to check the references again to see whether or not it is the whole piece here or just the base of it. Like the whole piece there. So I'll check that and I will, you'll find out. But that's the kind of stuff I'm doing today. I've got a new coat of black here where the big decal goes. And I want to hit that with a clear gloss before I put that down. So that's the last big thing. Once I get all these areas painted, is to put a clear coat over the areas with decals. Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday. It's decal day. I have decreed. I decreed it's decal day. And so yesterday I got ready by putting a good big coat of the gloss varnish on certain areas that were beginning to decals. I will tell you, I really like how that turned out. It gives me that heavily lacquered wood look that I think is very appropriate, particularly for this back console. I like that heavily lacquered look. So I'm going to put the decals down on the sides here and on the front here. This one is very much like the main registry on the Enterprise. You really want to have this one right and smack dab in the middle and just
There we go.
And good and yay to kind of set the tone for the rest of
And
the
touch up some of the weld-looking areas with the galvanized tin. So I should get that out again, but I'm going to let that dry really good.
But I mean, the area they got to go on is right up in here. Each of the
I wonder if I should.
corners.
That's pretty good thinning on that copper. I wonder if I could paint that in really quick. Trying to be efficient instead of wasting that paint. Put it on the Lazy Susan again. Wonder if I can get that to.
I think if I do the floor facing the outside, that might be enough. We'll see.
This is a good consistency.
And then of course we've got all the stripage that needs to go on.
It's thin enough that I can just dab it on like really skinny parts, but it's thick enough that I'm not going to have to try to recoat. The last thing you want to do is try to do this hard, small painting twice, like, just to get a coat. So, it's finding that happy medium with the thinness, enough that it covers for one coat, but thin enough that you can get nice skinny lines and not have heavy paint sitting on your brush. Because this part is really tiny.
So I have, what I've done is I've cut decal with a very sharp X-Acto just
And it's working
interior film
so
area.
far. You gotta be careful because the
Kind of still want to hit the inside support pulling some of the water, but when I pull it out and put it on the side of the box back there, I'm not going to want to have all that, but that's just a recipe.
it's just on the brink of being too runny, where it wants to fall off the letters.
You want to get the bowl of warm water and the paper towels and the other accoutrements and start.
So you kind of, what you do is you kind of just tap,
Now, the great thing about having all these
touch, and you kind of,
brass heads is it makes it a lot easier to align things with. So if you figure the dead center here is right underneath that rivet, then it's easy to line up the top of your decal.
I find if you kind of touch and tap,
Dead center is clean.
it works better because your brush is kind of pushing the plow of the paint, and then it finds an edge and whoop, wants to go over.
There we go.
So you did a little bit on that H,
Side.
but I think I can fix that.
That gold decal on the straight on the black. There's no white backer that I can see. It's just that gold metallic ink. These J-Pop decals.
If I keep absorbing what fell over.
Okay, I've got this set of these decals and the throw keys there and there. And I gotta tell you, I don't mind telling you, I hate them with a fire passion. They don't add that much to your kit. They are good for to work with. I don't know that they, like I said, I'm not making what they add, and push the lines for cover. Want to see a good contrast on them. So I'm going to let those two sit and pretend that they look better than they do. I did get the one on the side of the console back there, and Elliot, you were right. There was no good time to put those decals down except that when everything was separated. But I just knew in my heart.
Yeah, I'm liking that.
It was going to end up getting bumped or scratched or knocked off. I'd have to be putting it over anyway.
I like adding the contrast or the colors of, you know, ships in the stuff.
Just take your lumps and do the best with it that you can. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Actually, no, I think there's one more I could do. One more I could do. There's a series here of these four stripes. Those are meant to go on the edges where the rosettes are. Right?
And adding the color of the ship into the actual decal, and it being a metallic so it actually shines at angles. It's going to be way too hard to see in the camera, especially when I hold it too high. But yeah, we're going to do the and of the, and then War of the Worlds we'll do in the main body color, that rose gold. So the War and World stands right out, but then the and of the will be in the copper. Yeah, so we'll keep trucking. Almost there, just got 3 more letters with this color. But I figured since this was a good consistency, let's do this now.
It seems like these are the only 4 that I need. The other 2 of these are extra, and that's in keeping with some other details.
You don't want a lot of paint on your brush, especially this metallic, because it's a little heavier and it wants to move, or it wants to go.
I believe those were just extras. Put the other 3 here, this one, and then 2 on either side of this.
The H's are just hard because it wants to find that hole in this, in the middle, so those 2 notches. So I just had to go down in that one too. But I see how the other one, once it dried and settled in, it's really not, you can't really tell. I can go in there and probably just dab it with a little tin, since I'm going to touch up a spot with tin anyway, I think. Right. Don't want a lot, because these are tiny letters. I'm trying to start my fresh when I just dabbed the paint, or just freshly loaded the brush, on the part of the letter that's like long and going downwards, like with gravity. And I'll start at the top, so if I let go, it wants to flow down, it's going to flow down the letter, the part of the letter I want it to go anyway. So that always helps too, to get rid of the extra, you know, heavy brush. And then you can do your parts that are going this way and it won't flop over.
I think I ought to try to put one down here just to see how well it's going to react. Okay, I've got the
Now I'm just touching up areas that I didn't hit the edges that good.
Accentuate how uneven curved this rail is, and that's unfortunate. But if I hate to use the phrase "it is what it is,"
But I'm going to be happy with that because it's so shiny on shiny, you can't tell where it did. And like I said, that other one's setting up and dried in, so I could probably even just take a little toothpick, but I think toothpick's actually going to be too thick. Just take my blade, go in there and slightly.
I don't believe there's anything that goes from this side of the rosette back, although it might be a shortcut. There's certainly none on the back, the very back. There might be a short things that are bent here, and that may be what goes from the
I'm going to let that alone. That looks great. Good idea.
And
do those in the rose gold, and they'll look great. So let's clean all these brushes. But yeah, that's where we're at so far in there. Now, you know what? No, we'll come back. I was thinking about just really quickly doing the snow on the things really quick, but that's just white paint, and I'm just going to dab in a few areas there, and then put a clear over it, and we'll say the base is done, but we got to do those letters as well. So when I come back, this should be all ready and then cleared, and then we can do the flat clouds on it. I don't think I'm going to go crazy, but yeah. So it's coming out really good. So, slowly getting there. But I thank you for watching. See you soon.